Geneva, as any geography student will tell you, is in Switzerland. And Switzerland, as any politics student will tell you, is one of the most neutral countries on earth. Which is why Geneva's annual motor show is one of the best supported in the world with new model introductions. Everybody wants to be in on the action. So let's pop into Palexpo now to see what's on show this year. There'll be lots of opinions about the best car at the Geneva Motor Show this year, but there's only one contender for the most important. It's this, the new Ford Fiesta. And if it isn't Britain's top-selling super mini by this time next year, and possibly the top-selling car of all, I'm a Dutchman. 3- and 5-door models are on show, and they'll both go on sale in September. What's significant is how closely they stick to the exciting Ford Verve concept car from last autumn's Frankfurt show. That includes its exciting mobile phone-inspired interior. But the Fiesta fundamentals haven't been overlooked. It'll still be practical and affordable, just different, and a lot more up to date. Things like Bluetooth hands-free mobile phone connection and the Converse Plus central control unit from bigger Fords are now available on the Fiesta. There's a button to fire up the engine in place of a key, and you can even control an iPod or MP3 player directly through the stereo. But it's the coupe-like styling and the craftsmanship of the interior that most reveal the changes that have come over the car. In keeping with the greenification of new cars, the Fiesta is lighter than the one it replaces, despite being roomier and stronger. It will also have electric power steering for the first time, which also helps to save a bit of fuel. But Ford engineers insist it will be as good to drive as ever, and given what we've seen with the Mondeo and S-Max, we're inclined to believe them. Big efforts have gone into making it quieter and more refined though. There'll be 6 engines, including a new 115 horsepower 1.6 litre petrol unit. Ford is also planning a 1.4 litre diesel with carbon dioxide emissions of less than 100 grams per kilometre. That would make it exempt from road tax. Ford has sold 12 million Fiestas since the first one was introduced in 1976. Looking at the new one, and knowing it's also going to be on sale in America, they're set to sell an awful lot more.
It's been a long time, but Lancia is coming back to the UK in 2009. This Delta small family car is the main launch car and will cost from around £14,000. It's based on the Fiat Bravo and, we think, rather good looking. A range of petrol and diesel engines are going to be available, developing between 118 bhp and 197 bhp. Now, you might automatically associate the Delta with a hot Integrale, but sadly, Lancia says there are no plans for such a version of this car.
Family cars. Should they be saloons, like the Volkswagen Passat, or hatchbacks, like the Ford Mondeo? Skoda has neatly solved the dilemma by making a car that's both. The new Skoda Superb lets you choose between the upmarket image of a 4-door saloon or the versatility of a hatchback, all in one car. It's so ingenious, it makes you wonder why no one's ever thought of it before. The old Superb was little more than a Volkswagen Passat with more space and different badges. This one's all Skoda's own work. It's got a far more plush interior and up-to-the-minute technology features, including some fancy headlights not yet available on Audis and Volkswagens. These were developed by Skoda and changed their beam pattern and range to suit the kind of road you're driving on. The new Superb is a truly enormous car with cabin space to match. We've already driven the car in California's Death Valley last year, and it's very impressive. It's being targeted at the Ford Mondeo and will be priced accordingly when it goes on sale in September. Press one button on the boot lid and the metal part of the tailgate opens. Close it, wait a couple of seconds, press another, and the whole lot lifts up.
Volvo builds some of the world's safest cars, and it says that this new XC60 is the safest car it has ever built. On sale this autumn from around £25,000, Volvo's new compact 4x4 is packed with safety features. The XC60 monitors your position in lane, closing speeds, blind spots and distances from other vehicles. It will warn you if you're too close or about to get too close, and even brake automatically to prevent or minimise an impact. All that and the crash protection for which Volvo has become synonymous. From launch, a pair of diesels and a petrol will be available, with plans for a low-emission 160 bhp diesel for next year.
To a 3.6 litre V6, and including 3 diesels. Four-wheel drive will be standard with the V6 and optional with a couple of other engines, and there'll be a variety of gearboxes. Superb? You'd better believe it. Volkswagen has left no stone unturned in its relentless new model programme. From 4x4s to MPVs, it's launched the lot. There's even been a new Beetle. But there hasn't been a coupe, a replacement for the much-loved Scirocco. Until now. This is the new Scirocco that will be in the UK by September. It's based on the IROC concept that wowed the crowds at the Paris Motor Show 18 months ago. And it's a pretty faithful replica. The major change is at the front, where a conventional grille replaces IROC's horse collar. But the squat stance, concave sides, broad wheel arches and the wide-hipped rear survive largely unscathed, as does the tailgate and roof spoiler. The interior theme is pretty much the same too, if less colourful. The Scirocco is a 4-seater with individual buckets for each passenger. Opt for leather and there's lovely double stitching that gives the car a slightly retro feel. The triangular grab handles on the doors are straight from the concept car, as are the buttresses either side of the central tunnel. And it all shows the quality and attention to detail for which Volkswagen is famous. At the start, the Scirocco will be available with the Golf GTI's 200 horsepower 2-litre turbo engine and cost around £20,500. But we'd expect a 170 horsepower 2-litre diesel and a couple of 1.4-litre petrol turbo engines to be added, bringing the start price of the range down to around £18,000. It's 15 years since the last Scirocco disappeared and 13 since Volkswagen had a coupe of any description. All we can say is welcome back. So that's the pick of Geneva 2008. Green technologies dominate, but there's still room for the odd heavyweight like the Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe. Infiniti has landed in Europe and Lancia has begun its renaissance. The next stopover for our video team will be on home ground at the London Motor Show in July. See you there.